Grant, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure it's been a tumultuous couple of weeks waiting in anticipation for this deal and the results from the competition tribunal, of course, now ruling perhaps in your favor. Take us through the most recent developments. We know that there have been conditions attached. We know one of the biggest conditions is no retrenchments in the next few years, and that Walmart must, of course, adhere to the current law agreements in the country at this point in time.
Yes, good evening. I'm actually speaking to you from Bentonville, the home of Walmart, so it's early morning here. But yes, not too long ago we received the ruling from the Competitions Commission. It looks like they have merely endorsed in the entirety the voluntary conditions we proposed at the end of the hearing. And certainly they're in line with all the public statements we've made over the last several months. So the reality is we had no intention of retrenching anyone anyway, so we were happy to agree to that condition. We have always respected the role the unions play in the business, so we never intended to challenge their right to represent. And we were always planning to spend money on developing suppliers. That's just part of our business. We are very comfortable with all of those conditions. And we look forward to now working with the local manufacturers in identifying opportunities for their development.
Of course, we know some of the biggest opportunities that lie ahead, and Walmart has been very vocal about this, that they do expect the food business, Massmart's food business, to grow by 50% over the next 5 years. A very big focus on getting the majority of fresh food sourced out of the country as well. Tell us about when you expect to see a fully integrated Massmart within the Walmart procurement system.
Well, as we've said many times, there isn't really a global Walmart procurement system in terms of the decisions of where product is sourced. What Walmart always help with is they help with quality, identifying ranges, and giving us processes and technology with which to work very closely with suppliers. I think it would be of no surprise to any of your listeners to discover that tomatoes and cabbage and lettuce and meat and eggs and the like it's all based on a commercial basis to source that not only in the country in which you operate, but as close to the stores as you operate, as freshness is key, and the cost of distribution is probably the most significant. So, you know, again, those were the plans which we had anyway, and now we'll just implement them harder and faster.
With regards to when consumers can feel the full effects of Walmart, what plans are afoot and what kind of targets have you put in place?
Well, I think given that we have no plans to change the brand names nor the formats, I think the sort of improvements the customers are going to feel are incremental. I think they should, over the months and years, be able to say the stores are just running better, there's more in stocks, the prices are better, we've seen new products that we hadn't seen previously, but it will be incremental as opposed to a big step change in experience.
With regards to your food business, tell us a little bit about logistics and how that is going to change, if at all, going forward. We know that the environment, especially in the Gauteng region, is going to become far more difficult. You were talking about being aggressive going forward and you know, looking at strategies. What do you plan with regards to logistics, and not only within the South African space, but also with the rest of Africa?
Well, I think there's two major forces driving the food business. The first is that the independent market is consolidating. Both the nationals are moving into their markets, as well as the likes of ourselves and some of our competitors are buying up some of the independents. So I think that process is going to continue, and we're going to see the likes of our new Cambridge brand and perhaps some other brands from some other companies launched to service the lower-end market who fundamentally travel by taxi. The other big trend is supply chain, probably led by the major national retailers, but we will now follow, catch up, and hopefully overtake them, is that we're moving to a very regionalized or centralized distribution model, whereas in the past product tend to be sent to stores by the suppliers. Now I think in the most, product is going to be sent to distribution centers, consolidated there by us, and then sent into the stores, which is going to reduce cost and improve quality. In terms of the African market, Massmart, Walmart have a very small market share in food retail in South Africa. So we're going to focus primarily through Cambridge, Game Food Co. and Macro about increasing our share here in South Africa. But I think some plans will start to be put in together to penetrate our food retail business more into the broader African market.
Another big question mark for investors out there with regards to your dividend policy. Any plans to change the policy given the fact that you are going to need more cash to fund all these exciting expansions that you're talking of?
Massmart, fortunately, is relatively lowly geared, so we have some headroom. I think we've signaled to investors so far that our current expansion plans, we'll need about R1 billion a year of capex. To the extent that Walmart asks us to and assists us to accelerate that, I think we have enough headroom in our own facilities to expand that capital base further. And that any changes to dividend policy or financing arrangements will be signaled long ahead of plan. And as of today, there are no discussions to change anything.